Good day, grade 8 BIS learners who are watching now. I am your science teacher, Ma'am Winnie Kayana. I am very excited to bring you today's lesson in grade 8 science. So what are you waiting for? Sit back, relax, and join us as we tackle about the Philippine Area of Responsibility or PAR. We are now on quarter 2, week 6. Trace the path of typhoons that enter the Philippine Area of Responsibility or PAR using a map and tracking data. Now, get your pen, paper, and activity sheet. Be sure you have already eaten your meal as we go through our discussion. Are you now ready for today's lesson? That's great! But before I introduce you to our topic, let's have a short review of the previous lesson, which is about understanding typhoons. There are at least 20 tropical cyclones that enter the country. As you have observed, the location of the Philippines makes it prone to experience typhoons. The country is located above the equator along the West Pacific Ocean, where it receives enough heating from the sun, causing the surrounding bodies of water to warm up. This leads to the development of low-pressure areas, which eventually turns into tropical cyclones. Now, we are done with our review. And to test your prior knowledge in today's lesson, let's try to answer the following question by choosing your preferred answer. Are you now ready? Let us start! Fact check. True or false? Question number 1. Meteorologists describe typhoons by their maximum wind speed and with different categories. The correct answer is true. Question number 2. PBOX is responsible in monitoring typhoons within PAR. The correct answer is false. Next question. 3. Pag-asa releases public storm warning signals based on the intensity, size, circulation, the forecast direction, and wind speed of the tropical cyclone. The correct answer is true. Next question, number 4. The PAR is the smallest and innermost monitoring domain whose boundary is closest to the Philippine Islands. Okay, the correct answer is true. Last question for true or false. Question number 5. In a tropical depression, the wind speed is 118 to 220 kilometers per hour. The correct answer is false. Did you get the correct answers? I guess you are now ready for today's lesson. Today, I will discuss to you the Philippine Area of Responsibility or PAR. I hope that we will be able to achieve our objectives for today. At the end of the lesson, you are expected to, number 1, recognize what is PAR or the Philippine Area of Responsibility. Number 2, trace the PAR using coordinates. Number 3, trace the path of typhoon that entered the PAR using a map and tracking data. And number 4, plan for the possible effects of typhoon. Plotting points, known as coordinates or the set of numbers that determine the location of a point in a coordinate system, help us locate places and trace paths. On a map, this is done using the latitude and longitude. Recall what you have learned in grade 7 on spatial lines of latitude and longitude. Latitude are imaginary horizontal lines that indicates the distance north or above or south below of the equator, while the longitudes are the imaginary vertical lines that measures the distance east to the right or west to the left of the prime meridian. This is an image you are familiar with. Remember the land masses and bodies of water that surrounds the Philippines? So these are the mainland China, Taiwan, Pacific Ocean, and Borneo. Plot the following coordinates, the latitude and longitude on the map. 5 degrees north and 135 degrees east has been done for you. Let's check your answer. 5 degrees north and 115 degrees east. Another set of coordinates, 15 degrees north and 115 degrees east. Next, 21 degrees north and 120 degrees east. Next, 25 degrees north and 120 degrees east. Last set of coordinates, 25 degrees north and 135 degrees east. If we will to connect the coordinates, this is the boundaries of the Philippine Area of Responsibility or the PAR. The Philippine Area of Responsibility or PAR. The PAR, this is the smallest and innermost monitoring domain whose boundary is closest to the Philippine Islands. The exact dimensions of this domain are the area of the western North Pacific, bounded by imaginary lines. Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration or the PAG-ASA monitors this area or the Philippine Area of Responsibility to analyze and forecast tropical cyclones. Have you ever wondered where tropical cyclones originate? What makes it stronger? What can weaken tropical cyclones? Does it follow a specific direction? This is the Tropical Cyclone Bulletin for Typhoon Odette, issued at 11 a.m. 19 December 2021. Typhoon Odette maintains its strength while moving over the West Philippine Sea. The track and intensity forecasts, the date and time, the location, and the movement, direction, and speed. Now, it's your turn to plot the path of tropical storm Sendong. Use the table to track the location of tropical storm Sendong. Refer to the month, day, time column, and follow the sequence of locations. Plot the coordinates on the map provided. Did you get the correct answer? So this is the track of Tropical Storm Sendong. Let's try to answer the following guide questions. Number 1. Is it possible to plot all the points in the table on the map? Answer: no, it is not possible. The points west of 115 degrees east and east of 135 degrees east are beyond the coverage of the map. Number 2. Where did Sendong form? Answer: Sendong formed in the Pacific Ocean. Question number 3. When did Sendong enter the PAR? Answer: Sendong entered the PAR on December 15, 2011. Next question. When did Sendong leave the PAR? Answer: Sendong left the PAR on December 18, 2011. Last question. In what direction did Sendong move? Answer: Sendong moved in a westward direction. Classification of tropical cyclones. Tropical cyclone categories and its intensity. Tropical depression or TD, intensity 61 km per hour or less, or 33 knots or less. Next, tropical storm or TS, 62 to 88 km per hour or 34 to 47 knots. Next, severe tropical storm or STS, 89 to 117 kilometers per hour or 48 to 63 knots. Next, typhoon or TY, 118 to 220 kilometers per hour or 64 to 120 knots. Next, super typhoon or STY, more than 220 kilometers per hour or more than 120 knots. Kapag ASA releases Public Storm Warning Signal or PSWS based on the intensity, size, circulation, the forecast direction, and wind speed of the tropical cyclone. This is the revised public storm signal warning. Signal number 1, 30 to 60 kilometers per hour. Number 2, 61 to 120 kilometers per hour. PSWS number 3, 121 to 170 kilometers per hour. PSWS number 4, 171 to 220 kilometers per hour. And signal number 5, more than 220 kilometers per hour. What I can do: indicate which should be done before, write capital B, during, capital D, and after, capital A, and place an X for items that do not help in typhoon situations. Question number 1. Prepare an emergency kit. Number 2. Leave the pets outside the house. Number 3. Make an emergency plan with your family. Number 4. Check every family member. Someone might need first aid. Number 5. Stay together as much as possible and have time for prayer. Number 6. Store enough supplies of food and potable water. Last, number 7, remove water that has accumulated in jars, cans, or any container which can be favorable breeding place for mosquitoes. Let's check your answer. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7.
Well, that's all for today, grade 8 learners. We are finally done with our discussion. So I guess you are now ready to take the quiz. Kindly prepare any sheet of paper for our evaluation.
Directions. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. Question number 1. What is the shape of the Philippine Area of Responsibility or PAR? Letter A, letter B, letter C, or letter D? The correct answer is letter C. Question number 2. Which of the following correctly describes the PAR? Letter A. All LPA within the PAR are called bagyo. Letter B. Pag-asa does not monitor outside PAR or PAR. Letter C. Western boundary is much further than the eastern. Letter D. Eastern boundary is much further than the western. The correct answer is letter D. Eastern boundary is much further than the western. Question number 3. When Pag-asa raises public storm warning signal or PSWS number 2, which of the following can be expected? Letter A. The tropical cyclone may occur at least 12 hours from release of the weather bulletin. Letter B. The tropical cyclone may cause heavy damage to the community. Letter C. Rice and corn crops will be safe. Or letter D. Some old galvanized iron roofs may be filled up. The correct answer is letter D. Question number 4. Do tropical cyclones develop within the PAR only? Letter A. Yes. Letter B. No. Letter C. Maybe. Or letter D. Don't know. The correct answer is letter B. No. Last question, number 5. In what way can tropical cyclone be a benefit? Letter A. Replenishes dam. Letter B. Increases air pollution. Letter C. Cause the sea level to rise. Or letter D. Elevate water levels in rivers. The correct answer is letter A.
Thank you so much for watching and see you at next session. Again, I am Ma'am Winnie Kayana, your science teacher, saying, don't tell God how big your storm is. Tell the storm how big your God is. God bless everyone!